Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something many of you have been asking about, how to create meaningful connections through text messages. I'm going to share 3 powerful texting secrets that create genuine interest and show you're someone worth getting to know better. Let's be real. Texting has become one of the primary ways we communicate, especially in the early stages of dating. But so many people struggle with it. They either come across as boring, try too hard, or completely misread the situation. The good news is that with a few simple principles, you can transform your text conversations from awkward to engaging. Before we jump in, remember that these aren't manipulative tricks. They're communication strategies that help you showcase your authentic self in the digital world. The goal isn't to pretend to be someone you're not, but to effectively convey your personality when you don't have facial expressions or tone of voice to help you. Secret number 1, create emotional engagement through storytelling. The biggest mistake people make when texting is treating it like an interview. How was your day? What are you up to? What do you do for work? These questions might seem like you're showing interest, but they actually create a boring pattern of question-answer question that feels more like an obligation than a conversation. Instead, focus on creating emotional engagement through storytelling. Our brains are wired to respond to stories. They activate more parts of our brain than plain facts do. Here's how to do it. Rather than asking, "How was your day?" share a quick, interesting moment from your day first. For example, "Just had the strangest encounter at the coffee shop. The barista handed me my drink and said, 'Enjoy your meal.' Of course, I responded with, 'You too,' and we both just stood there in awkward silence. Please tell me I'm not the only one who does this." This accomplishes several things at once. It's relatable and slightly amusing. It shows vulnerability, which builds connection. It shares something about your day in story form. It naturally invites her to share a similar experience without directly asking. When you share small stories like this, you're giving her something to respond to besides just a question. You're creating emotional texture in the conversation. The key is to keep these stories brief, authentic, and ideally with a touch of humor or emotion. This gives the conversation depth and makes you memorable compared to the dozens of "Hey, what's up?" texts she probably receives. Secret number 2, use playful curiosity instead of interview questions. The second secret builds on the first. When you do ask questions, because conversation is a give and take, frame them with playful curiosity rather than as an interview. Most people ask generic questions that feel like work to answer. "What do you like to do for fun?" requires her to compose a list of her hobbies, which feels like writing a dating profile all over again. Instead, practice playful curiosity by making specific, light-hearted assumptions or observations that invite elaboration. For example, instead of "What kind of music do you like?" you might say, "I noticed that concert poster in your profile picture. Are you a secret indie rock fan, or was that just a one-time thing?" This works because it shows you've paid attention to details about her. It makes a playful assumption that she can confirm or correct. It's specific rather than generic. It's easier and more fun to respond to than a broad question. Another example, rather than asking, "Do you like to travel?" you might say, "You strike me as someone who'd rather explore hidden local spots than tourist traps when traveling. Am I close?" This approach encourages more thoughtful responses because you're demonstrating genuine interest in understanding her perspective, not just collecting information. Playful curiosity shows that you're actually engaged with who she is as a person, rather than just going through the motions of conversation. It makes her feel seen in a way that generic questions never can. Remember though, this only works when it's authentic. Don't make assumptions that are completely unfounded just to seem interesting. The goal is thoughtful engagement, not random guessing. Secret number 3. Create anticipation through future experiences. The third secret is perhaps the most powerful. Create anticipation by casually mentioning shared future experiences. Human psychology is fascinating. We often feel emotions based not just on what's happening now, but on what we anticipate happening in the future. When you subtly plant seeds of enjoyable future interactions, you create positive anticipation that makes the current conversation more engaging. This doesn't mean rushing to ask her out. Quite the opposite. It means casually referencing potential shared experiences in a way that feels natural and non-pressuring. For example, if you're discussing favorite foods and you both mention loving Italian, you might say, "There's this amazing little Italian place downtown that makes homemade pasta. The chef is actually from Naples. The carbonara would probably blow your mind." Notice what happened there. You didn't explicitly ask her to go there with you, but you planted the idea of a shared experience. This creates a mental image that's much more powerful than direct planning. Another example, if she mentions loving hiking, you might say, "One of these days I need to show you the hidden waterfall trail at Redwood Park. Most locals don't even know about it, but the view at sunset is incredible." This works because it shows you're thinking about her beyond just this conversation. It creates a mental image of an enjoyable shared experience. It doesn't put pressure on her with an immediate date request. It gives her something to look forward to and imagine. The key is that these references should be casual, related to the ongoing conversation, and genuinely interesting. They shouldn't feel forced or manipulative. When done right, this technique creates a sense of forward momentum in your connection. Rather than just exchanging messages in the present, you're building a bridge to potential real-world interactions. Bringing it all together. These 3 secrets work together to transform your texting from forgettable to fascinating. Let's see how a conversation might flow using all 3 principles, instead of, "Hey, how's your day going? What do you do for work? Do you want to get coffee sometime?" You might have a conversation like, "Just finished a presentation at work and realized halfway through that I had spinach in my teeth the entire time. Monday is really testing me. How's your day treating you?" After she responds about her day, "You handle deadline pressure so calmly. I bet you're the friend everyone calls when they need level-headed advice, aren't you?" After discussing work and personalities a bit, "You know, there's this hidden gem coffee shop near downtown where they do latte art based on your zodiac sign. As a fellow coffee enthusiast, you'd probably appreciate their absurdly complex pour-overs. They're life-changing." Notice how this conversation feels more natural, engaging, and creates multiple opportunities for meaningful connection. You've shared a vulnerable moment, shown genuine curiosity about her character, and created anticipation around a potential shared experience. The psychology behind these principles. What makes these techniques effective is that they align with how human connection naturally develops. Real connection forms through 1. Vulnerability and authenticity, sharing stories. 2. Feeling truly seen and understood, playful curiosity. 3. Shared anticipation and imagination, future experiences. When you text in a way that incorporates these elements, you're not just exchanging information, you're creating an emotional experience. The women who respond most positively to these approaches aren't doing so because you've tricked them with clever texting. They're responding because you're communicating in a way that allows genuine connection to form, even through the limited medium of text messages. Common mistakes to avoid. Before we wrap up, let's talk about some common texting mistakes that can undermine these principles. overusing emojis or exclamation points to create artificial emotion, double or triple texting when she hasn't responded, trying to resolve serious topics or disagreements via text, being overly complimentary before establishing a real connection, sending generic memes or jokes instead of personal communication, taking too long to transition from texting to in-person meeting. Remember that texting is just one part of building a connection. These secrets help you make the most of this medium, but ultimately the goal should be to create enough interest and comfort to meet in person where deeper connection can form. Final thoughts. The most attractive quality in texting isn't perfect grammar or hilarious jokes. It's making the other person feel that you're genuinely interested in who they are and comfortable sharing who you are. These three secrets, storytelling, playful curiosity, and creating anticipation, all serve that greater purpose. They're not about putting on a performance, but about effectively translating your authentic self into the digital realm. So many connections never get off the ground because texting creates a false impression of who someone really is. By being intentional about how you communicate through text, you're simply ensuring that the real you comes through clearly. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content about building meaningful connections in the modern world. Drop a comment below with your own texting tips or questions you'd like me to address in future videos. Until next time, remember that authentic connection is worth the effort, even when it's one text at a time.